Ah, that was fun.
楽しかった。
Once the movie had ended, I voiced my honest opinion of it aloud. It had a rather simple storyline, like that of a children's book, but underneath the simple facade was a surprisingly profound moral lesson. Aside from its entertainment value, the movie also taught children a good lesson. It was the kind of movie that could be enjoyed by parents and children alike, and it gave the whole family something to talk about too. It really was wonderful.
この作品は描写がわかりやすかったので、私でも楽しめました。何より音楽が素晴らしいですし、思わずフレーズを口ずさんでしまいそうですね。
They definitely were pretty memorable songs. If I heard Michiru humming a childish song like that, it would definitely put a smile on my face. Though she'd probably get weird looks from her classmates if she did that at school, and she's not very keen on drawing attention to herself.
ねえお父さん、ほら、夕焼けだよ。
Little Michiru snapped me out of my reverie by pulling on my shirt. Oh, it must be beautiful. I still remembered the awe-inspiring sight of the sunset on the beach, but even watching it from the window was beautiful too.
夕食まで時間がありそうですし、散歩をするのもいいかもしれませんね。
That sounds good. Now that it's cooled down outside, there's probably a nice breeze going. What about you, little Michiru? Do you want to go on a walk?
お散歩する。
Good girl. Let's get ready to go. When I was about to tell little Michiru to get off me, she put her arms around my neck. She was clearly asking me to pick her up.
お父さん、おんぶして連れてって。
You want me to carry you? My, you're a spoiled one. Well, it was okay for a young girl to act childish every once in a while.
いけませんよ、みちる。寝ている時ならともかく、起きている時におんぶなんて許しません。むしろ私がしていただく番だと思いませんか、兄様。お父さん。
Let's just walk hand in hand this time. Quit pouting, both of you. The two Michirus were arguing again, but this time they weren't seriously fighting. I couldn't understand why Michiru thought that it was okay for the little girl to sit on my lap, but not to ride on my back. Was it because her chest would be pressed against my back, perhaps? Besides, Michiru, you are wearing a skirt today, or would you rather give everyone around us a good show?
それもそうですね。兄様以外に見せるわけにもいきませんし。では、みちる、出かける準備をしますよ。わかった。
I had to wonder what kind of preparations could possibly be required for a walk, but hey, girls, am I right? Little Michiru cheerfully dashed out of the room, and Michiru followed her at a leisurely pace. Watching the two of them leave reminded me of how similar they really were, despite their obvious differences on the surface. They were definitely similar in the way that they acted calm and collected, despite actually being quite careless.
もしもし、みちるはいらっしゃいますか？
Little Michiru? She just went to her room.
おー、バートのタイミングでしたね。
That's an understatement. You literally appeared the very second she left.
おや、ニアミスしてましたか？
She definitely did, not that it mattered. Did you need to talk to little Michiru about something? The three of us were about to go on a walk.
実はですね、今日の夕食はカレーなのですが、味付けをどうしようかとお悩み中でした。
Curry, huh? Sounds good to me. Come to think of it, I could smell it in the air. Did that mean it was already nearly done? I get it. She wanted to know if she should make little Michiru's portion milder, or if she should make it more in line with mine and Michiru's palates. You can just give us all the mild stuff.
おや、いいのですか？ご主人様、辛いカレーが好みでしたよね。
I do, but I won't mind either way.
なるほど、なるほど。いいお父さんですね。
Hey, I never said you could call me that.
わお、これが伝統の頑固親父というものですか。
While I kept carrying on with DD, the thought occurred that I wasn't watching over little Michiru. Maybe the blonde-haired maid needed adult supervision more than little Michiru did. Things were definitely easier around the house compared to when it was just me and Michiru though. Well, I'm having fun, so I guess I can complain. It really was fun. This really was happiness. The closing ceremony for the school year concluded without incident, thrusting us into our very much awaited summer break. All of the newly freed students filled the school with a jovial atmosphere. Didi and I ended up turning down invitations to hang out with friends, so we could walk home with Michiru instead. We're home! I wish I could take off all my clothes right here and now. I was covered in sweat just from walking through the heat outside. Michiru and Didi were grumbling about it too. They wanted to get changed right away. Maybe they'd want to take a bath together with me again too. As I was thinking about that, I noticed little Michiru peeking out from around the corner to look at me. Little Michiru, what are you doing over the... She looked around to make sure that no one was around, and then she quietly snuck over to where I was standing. She was too cute! I could tell that she wanted to talk about something in secret. Where? My room? Little Michiru pulled on my hand without answering my question. For a second, I thought that she looked like a little dog that wanted to go on a walk, but that was kind of rude to her. Alright, little Michiru, what is it? Yeah, I don't have any plans in particular. Her anxious face lit up with a smile when I nodded in affirmation. I suppose we didn't end up going last time. Of course we can. Little Michiru wore a jubilant expression and waved her hands in the air. Her childishness was adorable. Little Michiru had become a lot more willing to tell us what she wanted, since she couldn't go anywhere alone in our world. This must have been her growing up too. Yeah, it was a heartwarming sight for sure. Let's get ready then. Did you already ask Michiru? Oh, really? I had heard of keeping secrets from a girl's father, but I was surprised that little Michiru wanted to keep a secret from her mother and big sister. And even if she called it a secret, it sounded more like she just wanted to leave Michiru out. Why do you want to keep it a secret from Michiru? I get it. You want to surprise her, eh? You're such a good girl, little Michiru. I put my hand on her head and combed through her hair to show my appreciation for her. I suppose I ought to get little Michiru a present too, but she'd probably love it even more if it were a surprise. Michiru would be happy to see little Michiru happy and vice versa. Little Michiru, are you ready to go yet? Okay, I'll handle the explanation to Michiru then. Alright then, mission start! Mission failed! We went through the garden to avoid Michiru, but then she came out through the back door at the worst possible time. Oh, just for a second. No, just us two. That's, well... Little Michiru, it's good that you're honest, but you're gonna spoil everything. We're not gonna buy anything expensive, alright? We're just going for a walk. It's not like we're going out to a restaurant or anything.
はあ、お買い物ですか。
Michiru seemed like she still hadn't caught onto us, but I couldn't tell if she was just playing dumb. Little Michiru breathed a sigh of relief, believing we'd tricked Michiru, but I still wasn't sure that we had pulled the wool over her eyes.
もし、みちるを連れて行くのでしたら、迷子にならないように言ってくださいね。もう、迷子になんてならないもん。
Haha, I know. I'll be careful too, though. I was relieved to see Michiru nod. Looks like she fell for it.
では私は、妻らしく、家で兄様の帰りを待たせていただきますね。兄様も男性ですから、女性に言えない用事もあるでしょうし。
I already told you, little Michiru is coming with me.
あら、建前かと思っておりました。お母さん
Michiru just smiled with amusement, ignoring little Michiru's dissatisfied glares. I guess we're safe as long as she doesn't understand what we are up to, though it might be a problem later on.
ですが、雑誌にしても、道具にしても、私がいるので不要ですよ。
That's not it either. Michiru waved us off bemusedly as we left. I wonder if we fooled her.
私も一緒に行くって言ったのに、信じてなかったね。
Well, at least she wasn't suspicious. It seems like she's going to just watch the house. It's not like she'd be able to tail us around or anything.
ねえ、お土産は買って帰る？
Yeah, I suppose we ought to get her something nice before we go back home. Little Michiru knew how lonely it could be to stay home alone. Yup, she's such a good girl.
お母さん、どんなのが好きなの？
I'm not really sure. I know there aren't many things she dislikes, at least. Michiru always said her favorite thing was simply spending time enjoying the pleasure of my company, so I didn't know what kind of present to get her. She wasn't especially fussy about what kind of food she liked or disliked either. Well, I know she enjoys listening to rakugo.
落語？
They're stories on audio CDs. You might be a bit too young for those. Michiru started listening to them because they were something she could still enjoy after losing her sight, but little Michiru still had her own sight. I prefer to buy something that little Michiru would enjoy too. In any case, it would be best if we didn't return from the field of flowers empty-handed.
お母さん、他に何あげたら喜んでくれるかな？
If it's from you, I'm sure she'd be happy to accept any kind of present you give her.
なんでもじゃ困るよ。
I guess so. We walked side by side with smiles on our faces, discussing the problem. I took small steps to match her pace since I was holding her hand. Unlike before, we walked slowly along the well-ordered streets. We walked, and then we finally reached our destination. Little Michiru, in awe of the sight before her eyes, let out a gasp of amazement. Even I was taken aback by the sight, in spite of how I'd already seen it several times before. The scenery alone was not incredible in itself. The clear summer air and sweet scent of the flowers completed the package. Little Michiru was even more amazed than Michiru and I were when we came here.
ねえ、お父さん、お母さんにここのお花あげようよ。
Wasn't that your plan all along?
今日のお土産。お花だったらたくさんもらっても嬉しいでしょ？
I see. Point taken. My feelings of appreciation and gratitude towards Michiru were so great that, no matter how many gifts I gave, I could never adequately express them to her. Little Michiru clearly felt grateful to Michiru too, since she wanted so badly for her to be happy about the birthday present. She didn't even care about the surprise part. Although we might still be able to surprise Michiru later on if she ends up thinking this is the only present we're going to get for her.
お母さん、喜んでくれるよね。
Yeah, I'm sure she will like it. She might even cry.
泣いちゃうのは困るよ。
I mean, she might cry from happiness. I certainly don't want her to be sad either.
感激か。
When little Michiru imagined that, she showed me a big smile that reminded me of a flower blooming. Little Michiru's beautiful smile was even more dazzling than the field of flowers in front of me.
お父さん、早く行こう。
Alright, let's do this. I was excited to see how happy Michiru would be too. Although I did have to worry a little bit that she might try to push me down and take my clothes off right away when she received the gift. We need to think about how we are going to give her this gift though.
手あげたらダメなの？
That'd be okay, but maybe we could try making some kind of bouquet or flower crown too. Freshly picked flowers would smell the best, but pressed flowers make good presents too.
ああ、お父さん、物知りさんなんだね。
I looked up different ways of preparing flowers since I wanted to make Michiru happy. I'd only hesitated because I'd already given Michiru most of the gifts I thought she would like in times gone by.
お母さん、展示のご本読んでるから、しおりがいいと思うな。
Then we can make one from a pressed flower. Go look for the prettiest flower you can find, and we'll use that to make the bookmark. We can grab a few extra ones for decoration too.
はーい。
The appearance wouldn't actually matter to Michiru though. Nevertheless, Michiru would definitely appreciate knowing that little Michiru picked out a pretty flower for her.
どれがいいかな。
Little Michiru started searching through the flowers for the best candidate. She wanted to do her best to make Michiru happy. Seeing her go to this much effort made me want to give little Michiru a gift too. I'd given her a stuffed animal before so she wouldn't feel lonely at home, but today I wanted to give her another gift to make her happy. I made 2 flower crowns, one each for Michiru and little Michiru. After little Michiru gave her present to Michiru, I would give my own present to both of them. I knew little Michiru would like this kind of present, even if she wasn't expecting it. Just imagining the smile on her face gave me resolve to keep working away. Oh, but I wonder, what should I get little Michiru on her birthday? Honestly, I've been buying little Michiru a lot of presents. If I spoil her too much, then Michiru might get mad at me. Maybe I should ask Michiru for advice about what I should get for little Michiru. No, it would probably be for the best to ask little Michiru herself. I wouldn't be trying to surprise little Michiru with a birthday present, and it would be more important to make sure that her birthday was one to remember. But right now, I need to finish these before we go home. I had finished Michiru's flower crown by now, but I was still working on little Michiru's. Hers would be smaller, but... Huh? Where did little Michiru go? I looked around, but little Michiru wasn't there. She must have run off somewhere, just like any child with her energy would do. Perhaps I might have lost track of Michiru the exact same way when she came here.
お父さん、これどうかな。
Wow! So you were right there, little Michiru.
お父さん？
No, it's nothing. I was just wondering where you were. As I said that, I hid the half-complete crown of flowers behind my back. Then I noticed what little Michiru had in her hand. Is that bouquet of flowers something you made?
ちゃんとできてるかな。
Of course, it's beautiful! You've got a good eye for flowers, little Michiru. I was already thinking about decorating Michiru's room with that bouquet once we'd given it to her. I also knew of a few ways to preserve flowers so they wouldn't wilt or dry out.
それでね、この綺麗な方を押し花にしたいの。
That's a good choice. Well, we'll just tuck it away in this book for now.
おっきなご本だね。
I'd brought a Korean dictionary along, and I was glad I'd done that. I figured it would come in handy if we came to the flower field. After all, I'd given Michiru a similar gift sometime in the past. I had the idea of giving a pressed flower as a gift even before we came here, so little Michiru coming up with the same idea was pure serendipity. Having prepared the bookmark and the bouquet, little Michiru and I walked through the field of flowers. She was having fun, and this place gave me a pleasant feeling of nostalgia as well. Unfortunately, we were having so much fun that I lost track of time for a little while. I didn't manage to finish little Michiru's crown of flowers, so I decided to finish it up once we got home.
お母さん、怒ってるかな?
I don't think she'll get mad at you, but she might be a little peeved at me for staying out so long. I would be able to make it up to her with the gifts, hopefully.
それじゃあ、しおりをきれいに作って喜んでもらわないとだね。
That's right. Just don't tell her about this until I finish it. I already had the pressed flower, so I just needed to make it into a bookmark once we got home. I also figured I could use that time to finish the crowns as well. Maybe I could give both of them their crowns after dinner time.
ご飯食べたらお部屋で隠れて作ろうね。
I think it'd just make her angrier if we shut ourselves in there again. I was already doubtful enough of my ability to keep it a secret from Michiru to start with.
お誕生日のプレゼントも考えないといけないね。
That's right. Oh, and you should think about what you want for your birthday too, little Michiru.
私? いいけど、まだ先だよ。
Oh, so she wasn't born on the same day, huh? Interesting. Huh? It's really soon, isn't it? Little Michiru shook her head in response to my question, evidently quite confused. She wore the sort of expression that seemed to be wondering why on earth I would be thinking such a thing.
私のお誕生日、冬だよ。
Huh? A click, like that of something shifting, fell on my ears. A click, like that of something moving, fell on my ears. A click, like that of something settling, fell on my ears.
お父さん?
No, it's nothing. In the midst of my confusion, that was the only thing I could say. It's nothing at all. Repeating that to myself a few times, I finally unfroze from where I stood. Michiru and little Michiru didn't have the same birthday. Crow had told me that, even if they were the same person, there was no guarantee that they would be entirely identical. Could they really have different birthdays? Their outward appearances, names, and knowledge were ostensibly identical, after all. No, when it came to their knowledge, I never had stopped to verify that it really was identical between them. Since little Michiru thought of our house as her own, and also had the same memory of getting lost at the park, I'd been totally convinced by that. Was little Michiru lying to us? Why would she do that? Were that really the case, that would make this child...
お父さん。
How about we go home now, little Michiru? Hand in hand, we slowly walked toward home. At this moment, the question of who little Michiru really was didn't matter anymore. Even if she was different from Michiru in some ways, or even if she was a completely different person, that wouldn't change the memories we made in our time spent with her. The memories, the feelings she had, even if they were identical to Michiru's own, that wasn't why we were raising her. And besides, if little Michiru and Michiru really weren't the same person, then there was little room for doubt as to who she could actually be. I could feel the warmth of her tiny little hand in my own. Little Michiru was here with me right now. For now, that was enough. You know, I just had a thought. What if little Michiru didn't come from the past,
お母さんだ。
but from the future? And if that's the case, then it should be pretty obvious who she really is. As we approached the house, little Michiru called out happily to her mother. I followed her gaze and saw Michiru standing in front of the house. It was such a picturesque scene, I fell in love with her all over again.
私たちのこと待っててくれたのかな?
Maybe we were out for a while. I hope she wasn't too worried. It'd be a real pain if she ended up sulking for the rest of the day. Maybe I should give her the bouquet ahead of time to cheer her up. Would that be too pathetic though?
お父さん、お母さんにお花渡してもいい?
Yeah, of course. I was thinking the same thing myself. I gave little Michiru a push on the back to affirm her resolve, and she happily ran over to where Michiru was standing.
お母さん、ただいま。おかえりなさい。そろそろ帰ってくる頃だと思っていましたよ。
Following along after little Michiru's tiny footsteps, I was greeted by Michiru's dazzling smile.
あのね、お母さんにお土産持ってきたの。お母さんの好きなお花だよね。お父さんと一緒に摘んできたの。
Little Michiru bashfully tried to give Michiru her present, and I knew it would be a heartwarming sight when Michiru's face lit up in response. Little Michiru held out the bouquet in her hands. Seeing Michiru's face as she accepted the gift would no doubt make me smile as well. これ、もらってくれると嬉しいの。おかえりなさい、兄様。ミチルは一緒ではなかったのですね。Wait, what? But, alas. 一人で済ませたい用事があるにしても、ミチルと一緒などという嘘はつかないでくださいね。Wait, I wasn't. Why didn't she accept the bouquet little Michiru had held out to her? お母さん。Why couldn't she hear her voice? ところで兄様、ミチルはどちらへ？Michiru, don't you understand? Why wouldn't she notice she was even there at all? She's standing right there. お母さん。The ebb and flow of her helpless and distraught voice echoed in the air. Can't you hear her calling out to you? 兄様、何をおっしゃっているのですか? But her voice could not reach Michiru. Nor could her outstretched hands touch her. ミチルの声なんて聞こえませんよ。Flitter, flutter, flower petals scattered around. Tick, tock. Time ruthlessly ticked away. Each passing second seemed to fragment our memories more and more. Time was moving forward systematically, inexorably, without stopping, towards the end, the final end. The fallen bouquet upon the ground never reached the one whom it was meant for.